welcome to another installment of Awesome Comics. I am your host this week, Trevor Mueller. Well, happy Halloween, and welcome to the show. Today we are all dressed up as other characters, so when we do our introductions, we will introduce ourselves as well as who we are dressed up as. But before we get started, I want to remind you guys to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/awesomecomicshow, as well as our YouTube channel. That said, again, I am Trevor Mueller for this week, and today we're talking about the Adam West, Burt Ward Batman, also known as Batman 66. I am dressed up as Lex Luthor from the Batman v Superman movie. I don't have any Jolly Ranchers, but Sherry.
Sugary.
And on this side of the table, we have the people here that think that Batman 66 does not suck. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I am Liz Lemon, and this is one of my best friends.
Leslie Nope. Vote Nope, 2012.
Also, Hillary, 2016.
Excellent. And on this side, we've got the opposing side who think that Batman 66 is no good. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
I'm Norman Bates.
I'm Lil Mac. Lil Mac doesn't really talk, so I'm just going to stare at you real quick.
He talks with his fists.
Excellent. So today we are going to be talking about one of the first Batman shows that I ever watched when I was growing up, long before the Tim Burton movies came out, long before Batman the Animated Series, but we obviously have two very different opposing viewpoints here, and we're going to break it down into three categories. The first one that we are going to talk about, guys, is the cast of Batman 66, right? You can talk about the actors, you can talk about the rogues gallery, whatever it is. We'll go ahead and start on the opposing side here and say, guys, why does the cast suck?
Okay, I'll start if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay, so Adam West, look, I like Adam West. I respect him. I think it's adorable. I think it's so cute that he thinks he's still Batman. That's just adorable off the charts. But
He comes out swinging.
I
Punches
do.
through.
Boom, suckers. But the show was meant to make fun of Batman. That was the whole point of the show. It was like the producer, William Dozier, never watched or never read any comic books before, and he looked at the Batman comic and was like, but there's no way we can do this unless we make it really campy and stupid. And that's what happened. So Adam West is the poster child for this show, obviously, because he's Bruce Wayne Batman. And he sort of epitomizes everything that's also kind of bad about it. Like I said before, I like him. I love him in the Fairly Odd Parents, as Catman and all that stuff. Hilarious. I really like Adam West as a guy. Just as Batman, when people say he's my Batman, I'm like, well, you are wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
So,
100%
anyone
wrong.
else you want to point out?
Just like all these tropes we had about the Batman and Robin. The Batman and Robin,
This is
like,
fine for me. I don't know.
their homoerotic subtext and all that stuff.
I don't think
We're going there.
I'm just saying, what are you?
We're a
To the
little-
bedpolls, old
It's not-
chum, for a quickie before we change into our suits.
I'm
That is
just talking
not my. That's you. That's not me.
like
That's
how
all
there's
you.
always been that like
They're
you know
team divided.
there's always been that like stigma around those two, but then this show they're so campy and they're so just weird together that it just I think that the show really furthered that thought. It's so much so that people have thought about it for years and decades into regular comics about whether or not what type of relationship they have, and it was such a big thing. I feel like this totally moved that forward in a very negative way, and it's just like
Right. I mean, people do make comparisons. That's not my exact point on it, but I mean, I'll back you up because we're on the same team.
I just think it.
Burt Ward, I mean, as Robin, I mean, he was pretty young when the show came out. Like, it's not like, oh, he was a terrible actor. He was what, like 18, 17, something like that when that show came out. So, I mean, I'm not going to like totally blast him or anything like that. But holy bullshit, Batman, our show sucks. I mean, good Lord. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry.
not good.
Besides him, okay, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin. Can we talk a little bit about that? I love Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
Big Rocky fan. I don't know if you know this or not. Thank God that Rocky came out because he's known as Mickey for the most part in pop culture. Because he was left to be known as Penguin, that would have totally been a disservice for him. Because Burgess Meredith was one of the greatest actors of his generation. He's a great character actor. If you want to see some great Burgess Meredith, go back and watch a couple Twilight Zone episodes because he was in about 4 of those and he was great in all those. He's a really good actor, and I think it's unfortunate that people still kind of go, "Oh yeah, Burgess Meredith, wah 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 wah."
That's such a great
That means
You'll get your chance, ladies. You'll get
That
your
means
chance.
it's iconic.
dumb. It's iconically dumb.
I was just
And-
about
Is
to
that
go
talking through the gritted teeth?
Right,
The
um,
cigarette?
Caesar Romero as
Gotta
the
love
Joker.
the mustache.
Baller.
Look, I don't have a problem with Caesar Romero as a Joker. It's one of the Joker's personalities. I get it. Okay, that's fine. That's kind of the Joker. I get it. Frank Gorshin as the Riddler.
That's
He's
such
so
a
wacky
weird-
off the wall. He kind of reminds me of like a more of a Joker type character.
Yeah.
His laugh is kind of like the
Yeah.
Joker very much. And whatever transgressions he made in the show, it's all forgiven because he was in the Meteor Man movie. So it's okay. It's all good. I love you, Frank. I know he's dead, but it's all right. I love you. He's up there. Whatever. Anyone else you want to talk about from this?
just like wait, watch the hat. Watch the hat. Are you okay?
This is why we have popcorn.
This is just a watch.
like
It's the most
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Catwoman being in there a lot. She was never really much of a character. She was there,
She's kind of just a
sexualization.
sex appeal.
It's
Yeah.
the 60s. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, ladies, you'll get your chance.
I'm
You'll
just
get
saying,
your
like,
chance.
they never really Batgirl. They never really fleshed out those characters well.
It's okay. It's okay, Leslie. Keep it together. Keep it together.
And I think they were underutilized. And they're just there as a hey, look, there's a pretty girl.
All right.
That was it.
Okay.
Okay, so opposing side, why is the cast good for Batman 66?
Wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You already said it yourself that the whole show was meant to be campy. So they matched
stupid.
their
was meant to be
performances.
stupid. It was very
Listen, we
stupid.
let you talk.
You're wrong.
They matched their performances to the tone of the show, which shows their versatility as an actor or actress.
Commit. You get lines like, man, some days you don't know where to put a bomb. Come
get
on.
rid of a bomb.
Commit.
Yeah.
He commits to the bit.
Right.
Okay? All of
course.
them commit 100%.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
Not of course. Some people, Jennifer Lawrence, don't commit to what
If she was
they're
on that
doing.
show, she
I'm
would
just
have to
saying,
commit.
I'm just
Hold
saying,
on, let the
like,
ladies
I'm
go.
just saying, they commit to the camp. If you can't have something campy and like off the wall, colorful and bam pow like super duper psychedelic 60s and like not commit to it.
Right.
And everyone 100% is like the role that they're trying to encompass. Like Batgirl, Yvonne Craig, when she's drowning in caviar, how does that even work? That doesn't work. But she's just like in this vat of caviar, like, I'm drowning, Batman, I'm drowning. And it's so silly and you laugh and it's still so fun to watch.
Right.
Campy does not mean stupid.
Right, and like you were saying, it shows that they are great actors because they just commit to the role, commit to the direction, and don't question it, and just do what needs to be done to make the whole theme and feel of the show come together. And like you even said, you've like half argued our point for us because you've already said how many great actors they have as a part of the cast.
Let's talk about Caesar Romero here really quick. Oh man, those were the days
So
when your
good.
Joker was just refusing to shave his mustache. Like that was like the biggest thing that you had to deal with was someone being like, nah, this is what gets the ladies, so it's staying. You better kick on that clown makeup because it ain't going nowhere. And I read somewhere his watch that you can see is not like part of his costume.
He wouldn't take off his
He
watch?
wouldn't take off his watch because someone,
like a-
the president of Mexico or someone important like gave him this watch and it like did not come off his person at all times.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, man, what a quaint little like actor that was like, now here's what I'm doing. If only.
He's really good with the part too. You already said that.
No, I think that he's fine as
and
a
the
Joker.
Penguin is a great
And-
character actor.
I love
He
the
played the
Penguin's
character.
laugh, personally.
Yes.
I think as an actor, it's hard to like come out of nowhere with like this role that's talked about for years and years and years, and he goes for it. And whether or not you find it annoying, you remember it. And he came up with an iconic laugh. Like Heath Ledger's Joker now has an iconic laugh. I think to me, that is that penguin sound that I think of is his annoying, albeit annoying, laugh.
Right.
And I love it. And that sideways talking, he's one of the most like characters from the show and the movie that you kind of remember, like visually speaking, like costume wise and look wise. He's one of those that pops right to mind. Also, Catwoman. Julie
Yes.
Newmar changed the way the Catwoman was portrayed in the comics. She originally wasn't wearing like tight cat suits or bodysuits or anything. And yes, super sexy, but like DC had shelved her as a character because they were like, nah, she's nothing but sex. We're not going to worry about her comic book wise. So if it wasn't for the shows and the movie, Catwoman probably wouldn't be a thing now because of her.
Great points made by both sides. We're going to move on to our second topic here. You can't talk about Batman without talking about the gadgets, right? Batman's got a bat everything, and this show, I think, took that to the nth degree. So let's talk about the gadgets, the vehicles, the computers in the Batcave. We'll start with the side why it doesn't suck. Talk about Batman's gadgets in this show.
Well, again, it fits the tone. It's meant to be campy, and what's more campy than having shark repellent spray?
Well, shark repellent bat spray.
Right, shark
it has to have
repellent bat
the bat
spray.
in the name, no matter what.
Right.
Which, I mean, at least if you're gonna go with it, like call everything bat, everything.
Exactly. And I love some of the creativity put forth in some of them, though. Even like, I can't get, every time they go down and there's the instant costume change lever.
I wrote that down.
I love that.
They'll like switch and it will change them back or just one of them, whatever you want, because that's the technology that they have.
We might as well address this.
You have to think of the technology of the time too. Like if you watch old Star Trek, it's kind of the same way, where some things don't age well because of the technology of the time and what was available and their fluctuating budget on the show. Like that was a big one, building UFOs. Sure. So it really has to do with the technology and where it was in time. But I think a lot of it because they just committed to being campy and committed to like having just really cool bat gadgets that were like, sure, he has this random thing. Absolutely.
He's prepared for all situations.
For all situations. Like, yeah, of course he has like a pill in his like utility belt that's like, hey, no, if you do this, it's cool. I already took the pill. I already thought of it.
Yeah. I think too, it's also one of the most iconic Batmobiles.
Oh my
If
God,
we talk about the Batmobile for
Also,
a second, like it still looks awesome.
The
It
motorcycles,
still looks awesome.
including Batgirl's motorcycle, which I need. It's so cute.
Yes.
But yeah, all the Bat vehicles.
Yeah,
But specifically that Batmobile.
right. The
Iconic.
design is simple yet still cool and very memorable. You still see lots of people who try to recreate that car just because it left that much of an impact on them. The design of that Batmobile or the motorcycle?
Batcycle?
Yeah.
That boat, that helicopter, that helicopter. Yeah.
So good.
Awesome.
Terrible.
Yep.
Awesome. But just iconic vehicles, really, really out there. Random gadgets, which some of them exist now. Not everyone had a computer in their homes or their bat caves back then. Now we kind of see a lot of this stuff as like, okay, well, we own all of this, so it's just like the newest technology. Back then, these things didn't exist, and they like created it out of thin air. So,
Gentlemen, opposing arguments for the gadgets.
Okay.
Bat shield.
There you
The
go.
frickin' bat shield. He's got, and it folds. No, Batman doesn't need a bat shield, okay? There's so many.
as if he's wearing spandex.
No. No. There's so many ridiculous gadgets that they just throw out there. There's just like, okay, we're getting away from Batman. We're just trying to throw in as much shit as possible to make it just campy. They go away from Batman and they just throw all this stuff in there just to be ridiculous.
Isn't this ridiculous?
Yeah.
Oh, what a sticky situation.
Yeah, I gotta use the most random, ridiculous thing ever to get out of it. And it's just like they're not focusing on Batman; they're focusing on what type of gadgets he
How
can
over
have.
the top it is, right?
But you talk about how iconic all this stuff is. It's like, oh yeah, it's iconic, but only because it's been frickin' forever since this stuff happened, and people still remember it. That doesn't mean it's good. It's iconic, but that doesn't mean it's
just because
good.
something is memorable doesn't mean that it's good. And I think
Yeah, it
people
might be
mix that up
memorable
lot
for
about this show.
a bad reason.
We're arguing that
rid-
it is memorable because it's good, though. We're
But
saying
it's-
that it is good.
Okay,
That's our argument. Yes, it's iconic and good.
Right, but it's not. So there's this thing called Truth Control Bat Tester.
Listen to this.
It's placed over the face of the individual being interrogated. As the person answers questions, their breath is captured in the bag. The breath is then mixed with a chemical liquid. Should the individual be telling the truth, the oxygen content will turn the liquid red. If they are lying, their increased metabolism means more oxygen, which will create an imbalance in the liquid, and it will remain clear.
How
Boy,
creative is that?
That is just so
hell?
creative.
Like a
I
lie
mean,
detector.
how much how much PCP those guys take to come up with something like that? Incredible! Wow, I mean that's memorable and great.
Yeah, right.
The gadgets are a big part of the show. I mean, obviously, and not just this show. I mean, Batman's had gadgets
He
his
doesn't have
entire career.
superpowers.
He doesn't have
That's how he
superpowers.
does
That's
stuff.
one of his main things is that
But they're
he has all these gadgets.
practical. If you read the
Not
comics,
always.
for the most part,
I mean, getting around the city with a rope with a little bat at the end of it is
Right.
probably not the best way to get
Although
around the city.
I do think that
Plus Spider-Man.
the grapple, the back grapple, whatever they call it, does kind of look cool in the show because it flips out and you throw up. So it's not completely useless, but I mean,
There's a lot of times it's
so
not like
over the
hooked
top.
onto things though.
Yes,
Right.
not
I mean,
blowing
that's,
like
that's
that,
anything though. I
I
mean,
know,
if you just
right?
shoot something up, with any
Look,
Batman
you
thing,
saw the
it's
end of it
fine.
and you're like, that's not a
Yeah,
touch
exactly.
to anything.
Not
But
at
I
all.
think we can all agree, and I think anyone at Channel Awesome can totally agree, that the worst gadget for Batman was not from Batman 66.
Oh, here we go.
It was from Batman.
Batman
and
Robin? What are we
The
talking
Bat
about?
credit card. Credit card. That's right, sir. That's right.
Oh my God.
So at least Batman 66 didn't have the
No,
worst.
no.
Do we all agree? Do we all
Yes, agree.
Agree.
Although I can't argue that Batman 66 heavily influenced Batman and Robin, which is one of the worst things of all time.
Also
so,
heavily influenced all Batman. Like,
no, really.
All right. So we've tackled on the gadgets, right? Let's talk about our final topic here, right? Lasting appeal. Is this the kind of thing that's going to be remembered for generations? Has it stood the test of time? Is this Batman, or is this a good introductory Batman for generations today? We'll start with the nose.
Okay, does it stand the test of time? Absolutely not. That's, I
No,
think, the one thing
absolutely
that
not.
it doesn't do is
No.
stand the test of time. You could say it's goofy, campy, and I grew up with it, that's great. But if you show this to a kid right now, they're going to be like, where is, Christian Bale?
Yeah,
or,
what
or
kind
the
of
darker
Batman is this?
Exactly. This
Yeah.
isn't the Batman that I know. I mean, like, there are kid versions of Batman. They're out there. Batman the Brave and the Bold is a great, cartoon show that had sort of an influence from this.
That's also campy.
Yeah, it's a little campy, but they actually throw authentic character stuff in there. There's an episode called The Knights of Tomorrow, which is about Damian Wayne from that show. And they show, in the future what happens. And there's some really emotional moments in there. And they're not doing it just to say, oh, isn't this stupid? Like Batman 66 does. They actually throw some real tension and real character stuff in there.
I've
on
seen
the
some
Actual
show.
real
emotion.
sexual tension on Batman 66. But
I'm talking about character, dramatic tension, not bullcrap. like
character
that.
development. There was none of that in
sexual
Batman
tension,
66.
still character development.
It was just
If it doesn't go
these
anywhere, it's
characters
not,
were
and it doesn't
very
go anywhere, that's right.
one-dimensional. They just I'm
the
Batman.
60s,
I
you guys see
fight
him
crime.
on.
I'm Batman. I fight crime. I'm Catwoman. I steal shit. I'm Penguin. That's it. They're very one-dimensional. They're one-dimensional characters, and there's nothing to them. So you can jump in any episode, and you just see Batman's gonna save the day. Yeah.
And when the show first started, it was supposed to be a more serious thing. I mean, if I can compare it, if I will, to the George Reeves 1950 Superman show, The Adventures of Superman, that was a goofy kind of campy show, but it still was trying to be something inspiring to kids, was true to the character. This isn't Batman, folks.
No.
Okay?
No.
This isn't Batman. No matter how much they want to try and make it look like the dark and gritty Batman with the different covers and stuff, with, it's a red sky. This is the Batman it's dark
No,
Batman.
absolutely not.
It's not. Okay?
And I feel like they never showcase Batman's intelligence ever.
What?
He has all these random, really weird rationalizations in the way he gets to certain things. It's just like, okay, I guess you can get there from that. He never seemed very intelligent to me. He didn't seem like a detective. I never got the detective vibe.
I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I completely disagree on that strong point. Yes, they go a goofy way about some of the C for Catwoman.
Yeah.
So smart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Some of
smart.
that
He's a
is
genius.
just silly and ridiculous.
Yes.
But I disagree on the detective stuff. That's why he has his whole Batcave and the computers and all these testing things is to figure things out. So I wholeheartedly disagree on the standpoint that it doesn't show off Batman's intelligence. I think it completely does. And a lot of the times he'll even give Robin credit for figuring things out, which is awesome. Also, speaking of Superman comics were doing so much better than Batman before the show and the movie.
Yeah,
And because of the show and the movie, sales of the comics skyrocketed.
This is true.
So we may not have Batman
You're
now
right.
if it wasn't for this, honestly, because a lot of the characters weren't doing well in the comics, so they shelved them. A lot of the comics themselves just weren't doing well, but because of the show and this movie, we now have Batman. Also, I rewatched the movie last night, which I haven't seen since I was really, really young, and so I agree that maybe for kids of this day, this is maybe, I don't know, because I'm not a kid, I can't really say maybe this isn't the best Batman to show them first. I think Batman the Animated Series one is probably more relatable for kids, and I think we can, for the most part, agree on that. But when I was a kid, yes, I thought some of the lines were ridiculous, and I was like, wait, how did he figure out that they were there? That was silly. But watching the fight sequences in the movie where I like completely blocked out of my brain that fight sequence where he's holding the cat for like a whole fight sequence on a boat, and I was like, oh god, the cat, watch the cat, oh my god, that poor cat. They're so fun and ridiculous. There's in the show the Dr. Cassandra episode where she's like with the arch villains and they all go invisible. I think they like take a pill or something, I don't remember, but they're all invisible and the dynamic trio has to fight a bunch of invisible people, and it's just a soundstage of them off camera being thrown at stuff and running around and like dodging stuff and just trying to like fight club it out with themselves. I love the fight sequences on the show. They're so funny and so memorable and so fun. Just so fun to watch. And so as long lasting for me of a show, I would say that has lasting appeal for me from like a nostalgia standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. One of the great things about iconic characters like Batman is that you can have multiple interpretations. Yep. There is not like one end all be all of I mean, I guess you could argue that, but it's great to see different people's interpretations of these characters. And that's one of the great things about comics in general, is that you have these iconic characters and different people come in and have different interpretations and different viewpoints of these characters. So yes, this may not be dark, gritty, Christian Bale Batman, but this is a whole different Batman. You just have to recognize that you can't compare the two head on at all times. They're completely different tones and totally different interpretations of a same character.
Someone
so
took
it's fun.
The idea of a man dressing up as a bat, fighting other people that play dress up, and went, that's odd.
Yeah, that's odd. Like, let's poke fun at
about that.
It's just supposed to be funny and fun. Like, I watched it with my parents, who watched it when they were kids, and I still, this is a teacher side note, I guess, I still to this day use some clips of the show to teach onomatopoeias when I teach English, because that's what it is. It's all the great onomatopoeias of like pow, bam, whatever, and my kids love it. They're like, what is this? This is hilarious. So like, as long as you don't use it, as long as you just prepare people for like, yeah, it's ridiculous, it's fun, just enjoy it.
Sure.
People can.
You can enjoy both too.
Yes,
because
you
I actually
can.
really like the dark gritty ones, and I like this.
Yes. Yeah.
You can have both.
You can.
Well, great arguments on both sides, guys. With our last minute here, let's definitely tell people where they can find us online, and also leave us in a comment down below and let us know, what do you think about Batman 66? Where can they find you guys online? Start here.
All right, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook, and here as always.
You can find me on Twitter at Heather Roos or Instagram at HRoos.
Gentlemen?
Find me on Twitter at awesome_Walter. Go ahead and follow me on there.
Facebook.com/awesomeporter, and I also run a nice little quaint motel. You guys want to visit me?
Oh yeah, you can come visit me
Very
in
nice.
Pawnee,
Right.
Indiana as well.
Good stuff.
And I am Trevor Mueller. You can find me online, trevoramueller.com, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all Trevor A. Mueller. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and leave us comments down below. Thanks, guys.